this was a good draft, bro. Like there was a lot of talent.
Oh yeah,
A lot of talent.
Well,
yep.
and they trying to say it's a weak draft. I'm like, what y'all talking about, bro? But all right, so let's get
Yeah,
into this real quick. Let's get into this Sanders name, and they saying they're trying to blackball the Sanders and all that kind of stuff. So they saying because Coach Prime is a good father, like they trying to blackball him. Did y'all hear when Shiloh told Shedeur, dang boy, they doing you like this? How they gonna do me?
yeah.
That's cold blooded. We would have to fight on that.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
bro.
Shiloh funny. Shiloh was trying to keep his spirits up. He said, "Man, I'm just kidding with you." He said, "Man,
yeah, man."
He said, "My day coming. My day tomorrow. Saturday."
I mean, just Prime and his boys, they doing their thing, but like the man is. Did they get the same kind of hate when Eli said he wasn't going to the Chargers?
No.
He said he was going to.
Oh yeah, they got the kind of hate, but they already knew the Giants was gonna take him.
It's the
I think they had something worked out behind the scenes.
Yeah, I grew a promo.
Because remember, the Giants drafted Phillip Rivers.
Yeah,
they just swapped quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they swapped. So they made it look like it was the Giants pulling the strings, not the man is pulling the strings.
Yeah, that's how they kind of
interviews. The tweets and the interviews that Coach Prime did is the reason why his stock fell.
I agree with you 100%. That's what I've been telling folks. I said, bro, they should have said that.
You better be careful saying that. People gonna get mad.
I don't care. They already mad at me. I don't give. I don't care.
I'm gonna say that, y'all. I don't really think that, y'all. I don't really think that because I'm gonna tell y'all. I got Shedeur and what's my man Kyle McCord. Like to me, I've been high on Kyle McCord all year.
Yeah,
and I was like, he almost like him and Shedeur almost the same. I mean, it just tweaks Shedeur better in this area. In some areas, he better than Shedeur. Yeah, but they got him ranked less than Shedeur, like way up on the Shedeur. They got him up on the mid rolls.
Yeah, Kyle McCord he was actually better downfield than Shedeur.
Exactly, he's more accurate, all that kind of stuff. So it's just like he's good. He's taller than Shedeur, but they still got him ranked real low. He was a leading passer. He only lost one game when he was at Ohio. Like this dude only lost one game in high school. So it's like he a winner. He led the college in passing. Like he had that bad game with the 5 picks, but he went on to have like 230 something throws after that with no pick. So
he
you
lost like three games his whole career, something like that. It was a crazy number.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like he was balling, and then like when you got stuff like this right here, like Johnny Manziel, he still went first round in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Went high. You got Baker Mayfield. He went first overall. He got tackled by the police, drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like you talk about Baker Mayfield playing the flag in the ground, all this kind of stuff. So you like,
hey, don't forget. Peyton teabagging that girl, and he still got
he teabagged that girl. Yeah, so it's just like all kind of stuff. And y'all talking about Shedeur because he wear gold chains and he can rap.
No, it's because his dad is Deion Sanders. It's his dad.
Yeah.
That's what
did he do to get all this hate though? Before coaching,
because
what did he do before coaching that rubbed everybody the wrong way?
All the tweets and the interviews that Prime did is the reason why. That's the reason why, man.
What interviews or tweets did he do? I just that was just so egregious.
When he said he don't want no cold weather team drafting his son. I'm like, well, damn, all the teams that need quarterbacks are cold cities. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, but
I think that was a big mistake saying that.
You say he may pull a Eli Manning, stuff like that.
Yeah, Colorado, he tweeted, "My son a top 5 pick. What your son doing?" It's stuff like that people see, and then they say, "You know what? We're gonna humble you and make your son a 2nd round pick instead of a top 5 pick."
I've heard people say that he wouldn't even get drafted. I thought that was crazy until today.
Nah, nobody said he wouldn't get drafted. It's just
I did hear it. It was on TV. I mean, it might not have been pushed, but I heard
made an example out of Shedeur because Prime tweeted and did all the interviews, was all in the camera, and they made an example out of Shedeur. That's all it is. It's his dad.
I remember he disrespected that scout too. I'm like, man, them scouts connected, bro.
But see, the thing about that, okay, All right, let me play that right there. I think Shannon said something about that. Let me play that for y'all can see what Shannon had to say about that scout situation. And I feel the same way as Shannon. Like, it's like, so we gonna throw Shedeur up on the bus. What stands out most? Hold on. Let me.
An NFL assistant coach spoke about Shedeur Sanders to Tom Pelissero and said,
All right, hold on, y'all. Can y'all hear
the
me?
worst former interview I've ever been in my life. He's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has terrible body language. He blames teammate, but the biggest thing is he's not that good.
Man, that's some. You know what? Come on, man. What are we
when
doing?
he was on that, when he was on well off with Cam
What
Ward.
are we doing?
Hold on, listen.
Behind all that was said, is there a name to that?
Ocho, before you go any further,
We can't hear it.
the worst former interview I've been in. He's so entitled. Okay, he takes unnecessary sack. That's not an interview. He never plays on time. That's not a part of the interview. He's horrible, but he has horrible body language. He blames his teammate. The biggest thing.
When is he ever?
I thought the interview, he came in, the way he talks about himself. He's condescending.
Right.
He's, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. That's an interview.
Right.
Hey, we can't hear it.
You said
that's making no sense. And I'm curious. We know why. We know why the pundits are doing this, the analysts and whoever.
Well, don't take him. Assistant coach, if you're on a team, you recommend that they don't take Shedeur. But you don't got to do this.
Yeah, it's not making.
Why now? Because that man is confident.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody said nothing when Baker Mayfield was a lot like this.
Hey,
I ain't hear none of this.
Actually, he was a little bit more flamboyant than this. Much more. I mean, Shedeur does the watch, but listen, Baker Mayfield was a real one, playing the flag in the middle of the field and talking trash. Oh, you don't want to shake my hand? Okay, bet. Hold my beer.
yeah. So
Baker was a real one, but they enjoyed.
All right, promo. You could hear promo because I got you on the phone. But yeah, so you see what they're saying. Like, you saying this about an interview, but everything you talking about don't got nothing to do with the interview. You talking about stuff outside that you done seen with your own eyes, and then at the same time they don't say the person's name. So why you trying to protect a grown man that's saying something about a young player coming out of college? Say it with your chest, put your name out here and say it, but you protecting a grown man. But now, how you know this is a real story? They could have just made this up and just said something, but now it's catching fire. So that's kind of feel like it's just a bunch of bulls, smoke and mirrors to me.
Yeah.
It's called Prime, bro. People don't like Prime, bro. They don't like Prime. They don't like the success he had at Colorado. People don't like it, man.
Okay. Quick question. What people? Is it football people? Because the advertisers
it's
love him.
football, it's media, it's all them people, man. A lot of folks don't like the way that Prime and Shedeur do things, man. They don't like it, man.
Well, okay. Quick. I'm just trying to get what about what he did or didn't do didn't they like?
So when Prime does an interview with Wallow and Gilly and says, my son gonna be top 5, Travis gonna be top 5, but it's gonna be an Eli situation. I want to dictate what place they go to, or I want them to play in a warm weather place. It's stuff like that that people see that gets in the minds of them GMs and them players.
Go ahead.
Motivated. Yeah, and also, man, we got to realize the quarterback position is still a very conservative position, man.
Yeah,
we could try to change it. We could try to change it all we want, but look at Bryce Young. Look at the way Cam Ward came out. Look how he was conservatively dressed. His demeanor, the small chain, all that stuff matters because when you're a quarterback, you're just not on the field. You're the CEO of the organization.
You're the face of the franchise.
And that's why many quarterbacks, they tone it down and they may turn it up a little bit once they get the money, when they get in it. but you're interviewing your entire time in college, and that's something I probably would have thought Prime would advise Shedeur, because at many times I felt he had the demeanor of a wide receiver, not a QB.
Right.
And I know I'm gonna get backlash and all that, this and that, but it is what it is. You see Cam Ward, he started having the funky hair and all that to like his last 2 years of the league. He was clean cut Cam, no tattoos. And it's just a standard of the QB position.
When Cam Newton went to Carolina, the owner Jerry Richardson didn't want him to wear earrings.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I remember that.
But see, the thing that's
hey, can I add something to that? Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking because when I close my eyes and I think about what they were saying about Shedeur, I see Cam. You see what I'm saying? Being fair, having that
like,
hair.
How Cam talk?
Yeah, he
like
sounds like what they explaining. Huh?
Cam aggressive. He very aggressive. Like I'm telling that game against. I think it's a game against Virginia Tech. Mm-hmm. I could tell the offensive coordinator was talking to the players, and Cam came in the huddle and just kind of talked over the offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. I saw that jump. Like he pointed at people, telling people stuff, and the offensive coordinator kind of just stopped talking.
Mm-hmm.
So Travis
it was a difference
by all Prime talking. So that didn't stop Travis from going anywhere. Travis still went.
Yeah.
They traded up to get Travis.
But I think
he's talking about how he was professionally presenting himself is what he's talking about.
Right.
Because think about it. At the party with Shedeur them, he was on camera. He said, "Man, I don't want to go play for no team that won't let me play my own music. I want to listen to my music and my brother's music." Like, bro, you can't. They don't want no rapper right now. They want you to concentrate on being a quarterback.
Right. There we go.
I think that.
I ain't understand what he was saying about that. Like, you got your own music in your head, so you got beats. Like, what you talking about? Like,
exactly. Yeah, he should have kept his mouth closed. Sometimes you got to keep your mouth closed, man. You can't just say anything like that.
Him and his dad.
They're gonna hold it against you.
It's him and his dad, man.
I mean, I get it. It's just like when we have this conversation, if this time next year, will this ruler or this sliding scale, is this going to go with everybody from here on out?
No,
like,
because
you know what I'm saying? It's going to be uniform. Okay.
Everybody not Deion Sanders. Everybody don't have a Hall of Fame dad that's been coaching them all their life. You know what I mean?
Because it's interesting to me because Deion been in media for 20 years. How is he able to move with the NFL Network, CBS, so on and so forth, and these things weren't issues?
And keep getting all deals. He keep getting deals left and right.
Yeah, but think about it.
Prime's a Hall of Famer.
Why did Deion start coaching? Because the college teams was treating Shedeur the same way. Florida State, they treated him just like the NFL treated him. That's why he didn't go to Florida State. He was mad at the coach wasn't paying him no attention.
Okay.
It's because because his dad, right? I think it's already been happening. So Deion started coaching. He said, "Okay, I'm a coach," and then his sons came play for him.
No, it's kind of like, for instance, like if you're gonna call a foul, let's call a foul. So when does not turning not having a line count? When is that balance? When is that counter a point? Okay, you get a point for not having a line. You got a point from going from one win season to now 4 to now 9. Like, when does that happen? Not having a run game, not throwing for the average of 350 yards plus per game.
But see, all right, hold on. Let me stop you right there.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me stop you right there, Hurt. See, they had a run game. They just didn't use their run game. So I think that's some of the stuff that the coaches saying, like, when they turn on the tape, like some of the stuff I was talking about last year about Shedeur not doing his check downs. Like 3 plays when Shedeur lost like 15, 20 yards on a third down. Like, stuff like that is like, hold on, bro. This is unacceptable. This right here. Or hold on to the ball when you got a check down. That's like, if y'all watch Juju, y'all go back and watch that spring game, y'all. Watch how quick Juju go to his check down. He go to it so fast.
I'm not arguing that at all.
Yeah, Juju is
I'm
quick with
saying
it.
like if we gon' it seemed like his 3-pointers of if you use it making an argument, their arguments are like 5 times valuable as far as the negatives. Like for every one thing, we're gonna count it as 5. Everybody else can count it as 2.
Yeah, because that's why I got these guys up right here with the chains on. They got chains.
Right,
a lot of
right,
these guys with chains, and it ain't nothing. Nobody don't say nothing about it. Like, I
But
mean,
you're not. That's not a quarterback. That's not a quarterback.
You're not quarterbacks.
That's the thing. You guys keep comparing DNs and stuff like that.
No, I'm not comparing DNs. I'm talking about just straight up and down.
There's a DN on the screen I'm talking about.
I see what you're saying, Boosie. It's like running backs and wide receivers, they can do that, but your quarterback, they want your quarterback to be more reserved.
Yeah. Right. I mean, look at Mike Vick. Mike Vick had to wear a suit when he got drafted. Cam Newton wore a suit. No big change. Clean cut.
But okay, I get it. But this is when the elephant in the room comes out, because I remember Johnny Manziel. Like we forgot that.
Yo, so Johnny, that was controversial too when he got picked up.
But I'm just like.
But he still went the first round. He was still undersized.
He won the Heisman, didn't Johnny win the Heisman?
Yeah,
I think he did.
Yeah, it's true too. That's true too.
Yeah,
and SEC.
Yep.
It's
man. First of all, shout out to all the brothers on the panel and Tiger and everybody. I know it's a real emotional situation that's been going on last night while I watched the draft. And let me say this before I say what I'm going to say, okay? I had Shedeur either to the Raiders or to the Jets in the first round. I want to say that. But I hope everybody doesn't get upset, which I know many already are, if Shedeur name ain't called tonight.
Right.
And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that, because I got a chance to just take my emotions out of it. We already know that what he could do on the field. That is not even contested. I do believe that there are some factors about Coach Prime, but ultimately, after I evaluate everything and really look at it, I think the Shedeur is a product of the copycat league. And the reason why I say that is because I kept listening to what everybody kept saying when he didn't get drafted in the first round. Oh, he limited in his athletic ability. He can't run. He's not really a scrambler and all this other stuff. And then when I start evaluating, and what really solidified it for me was when I looked, and I remember the conversation we had, and I brought up Dart, and I kept saying to y'all, say, look, don't be surprised if Dart end up having this Blake Bortles effect where nobody was talking about him, and all of a sudden he get drafted in the first round.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, you did. You did say that. Yep.
It happens every year. It happens every year.
When I saw that, and I saw them go back and get Dart, it hit me. I said, okay, they really ain't put a lot of emphasis on Cam Ward's arm, even though we know Cam Ward is a good quarterback. Mm-hmm. But they kept talking about his athletic ability. Then we talk about Dart. Yep. They talking about his athletic ability. Mm-hmm. Don't be surprised if Miro get taken before Shedeur tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm saying is because, and it could be Cleveland. Cleveland could take Miro tonight, all because it's a copycat league. Y'all remember one time before where it was almost an abomination for a running quarterback, and they kept saying that a running quarterback could never win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, we got Kansas City got a mobile quarterback who can throw. All of a sudden, now we got the Eagles quarterback who can throw. Philly, and just look at it. Look at the Redskins. What do? They got a quarterback that can throw and run. You got all of this stuff that's taking place. And so, when I'm looking at it, I'm not saying that 9 times out of 10, I'm taking Shedeur over Cam Ward.
Mhm.
I am. But I
Yeah.
think that he copied.
I understand. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
That
funny.
makes
Actually, Mel Kiper sort of like said what you said. Like if you like Shedeur, you got like a old school type quarterback.
quarterback. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
because
funny,
think
but
about
that's
what
who
he just
Dart-
said.
But that's who
Look
Dart
at the
is.
top. Yeah, but look at the top 3 quarterbacks. Like Kyle McCord was a nation's leading passer. Him and Shedeur kind of the same. They not that athletic. The Oregon quarterback ain't that athletic. They didn't get drafted yet. So what he's saying, man, it makes sense.
It's not athletic. Faux.
Dart
Or
ran
is
for
it
1,000 yards in 2 years.
It's because of that. And I remember y'all said something about Pittsburgh. I looked at Pittsburgh got like $47 million in cap space.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got so taking Shedeur ain't gonna really affect them because he'll be on a rookie deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm saying. We gotta look at this thing objectively and look at what they're doing. I end on that, brother. Y'all go ahead. I'm listening.
Hold on. You see how much the Browns just paid Myles Garrett?
Yeah, TJ Watt want more money.
It gave that man 80, and he getting 40 this year. So
and they paying Deshaun Watson
and TJ Watt gonna want more than Myles Garrett because he's more efficient. So
he gonna want more?
If they can get Shedeur for a deal, I think they'll take him in the second round, third round. But first round, you got to pay a quarterback a lot in the first round.
The Browns still got to pay Deshaun Watson too.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. That guaranteed money.
Yeah, so if they would have drafted Shedeur in the first round, they got to pay 2 quarterbacks now. And so that could be another reason. Now the Miami, I thought Miami was gonna get him because Tua in that situation. But all these teams that passed on him in the first round, they might take him in the second round because now he's a high value pick now.
No, the Pittsburgh players the one. What you saying? I didn't realize how much cap room they had. But now you can build a monster of a team around a solid with a solid quarterback. You don't even have to have superstar at the quarterback at that point. Now we're talking about a Seattle Seahawks situation when they had the Legion of Doom or Legion of Boom or whatever. And it's just so I can see that. But it's just for me, as far as the narrative, it's just like we can it's easy to throw the black-white thing out there. It's very easy. That's a layup. But I'm saying this time next year, are we gonna use this same scale? Because now you making yourself. Because if not, now it's real. We're gonna look back on it and say it was more than just. Because my thing is, if Deion rubbed people so much the wrong way, why did Pepsi get behind him? Why did Under Armour get behind him? Why did the XFL get behind him?
Because he gonna make them money.
You see what I'm saying? Why did
Prime is a Hall of Famer though?
You see what I'm saying? I mean, I understand it. There's a lot of Hall of Famers that's living on somebody's couch too.
But Prime is Prime though. Like we can't automatically place Prime credentials on his son. At least not.
No. But that's people saying. My man said that it's because of the interview and
the
they
tweets,
don't like Prime
and the
tweets and the Prime effect. I get that. But what I'm saying is people are talking out, not the Panthers, but people are talking out both sides of their mouth when they say they don't like him, but he got 20 years in the media room, not with his son on the football field.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Let me add this right here. I see what you're saying, Hurt, because I can't necessarily say the black and white thing because Cam went first of all. But also, I said this before too, though. New York ain't never drafted a black quarterback. So I'm like, the old regime's still gonna do it how they do it, you know. So it's always an element because we stay in America, but that ain't really what's holding everything back. Like even like the Coach Prime thing. If they was really hell bent on hating Coach Prime, I think Travis would have failed. But they traded up to get Travis. So
they would have punished both of them.
Exactly. So, but I just think I'm telling y'all, throughout the year, we was talking about Shedeur with all them sacks. We was talking about how the daddy ball, they was carrying the offense, but they pad the stats for Shedeur. So some of that stuff, these GMs are looking at that stuff like, okay, yeah, he had 300 yards, but he really would have had like 200 yards. But they left him in the fourth quarter when they was already up. So they looking at some of this stuff like how much is real quality play or how much is just pad. like Stat Patch.
But this what I would say, and this is it kind of ties into the Pittsburgh thing. For 20 pounds, we're looking at Roethlisberger. That's who Shedeur is.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, it is.
No, he hold the ball and everything, just like Ross.
Just like Roethlisberger.
But also you gotta realize it's a different time though. With Big Ben being who he is
was like
today.
6'4" though, 6'4", 6'5". Shedeur
Same
6'2".
type of play.
That's what he said.
6'2", 6'4", 225, 240.
I'm pretty sure
250.
Roethlisberger a lot stronger than Shedeur, bro.
But that's what I said. The weight. I said 20 pounds. We talking about the same type of player.
Yeah,
but we're in the time. We're in time of the Josh Allens, the Jalen Hurts, the Mahomes.
No, I understand that.
That styles
of saying to line it up with the Pittsburgh angle. That.
And then another thing that Ben Roethlisberger had on Shedeur was what they call a strong arm or whatever like that.
Okay.
But what I'll say is that, and I'll just keep mine simple. I hate it for the young man, but the thing is, when you're the jack of all trades but the master of none, that hurts you in the end. He was great, good at a lot of things, but when you look at the evaluation process, nothing stood out where he was great. Like he didn't have a great arm. He didn't have great mobility. Things that you
what
can
about
quantify.
Great accuracy though? Yeah, great accuracy.
Yeah, great accuracy.
Yeah,
but then when evaluators, because I sat and I listened to Dan Orlovsky, and he made a great point. He said he was accurate, but over 75% of his plays occurred in bubble screens. And then that leaves 25% to be evaluated, and 5% he was sacked. So you only truly evaluating 20% of the passes going downfield. Now this Dan Orlovsky, he did all of this, review and all of that stuff. So I'm just taking his words. I don't know how true that is, but he put it out there in public space.
I saw them throwing that ball. I saw that ball going over 15 yards a lot.
But I mean, like I said, that's his job. That's what he paid to do. So I can only take what he's saying, kind of look at it and be like, okay, I can see where you're going from that. But my own opinion of Shedeur, like I said, I like him as a young man. I think he was deserving of a number one pick. But when you're not a master in anything, you're just a jack of all trades. You can look at the copycat league the other person was talking about, and they can say, well, he has mobility. So they can say he mastered mobility, or he's able to get away from a sack, or he's able to do that with Jackson Dart, or with Cam Ward having a strong arm and things like that. Because if you look at Cam Ward and you look at Shedeur, they're 1A, 1B when you look at them. But what does Cam Ward have over Shedeur? He has some mobility, better mobility, and he has a stronger arm. So for Shedeur, he'll, if he has a Drew Brees-esque career or a Dak Prescott type of career, hey man, he good, because Dak Prescott right now the highest paid player in the NFL.
So the thing that's so crazy about it is when they talk about them short or bubble screens, when you don't have the line to depend on to show that poise,
try to slow
all these different things.
To slow the rush down.
It's kind of he didn't even have a tight end.
Slows the rush down.
Yeah, but screens do too. Those bubble screens. Now the DE is trying to run.
Go ahead, boo.
But y'all ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. But the offensive coordinator that you got rid of, he threw the ball down the field more with him.
But they do them
option routes.
That's true, but they did a lot of them bubble screens too, though. Like I didn't like them bubble screens. I was like, man, why y'all keep doing these bubble screens? Last year and the year before last, I got so tired of that. I'm like, bro, stop doing these little bubble.
Shedeur's best game last year came from bubble screen, though.
Yeah,
TCU, three of the touchdowns came from bubble screens.
You know the thing is, man.
HB screens.
You know the thing is that teased me off about so-called evaluators. They double talk. And this what I don't like about this. Is why you have to, for us who are couch scouts, because that's what we ain't getting paid to do this. Nah. But at the same time, here's what I learned. I learned by watching this thing, we got more damn common sense. Excuse me. We got more common sense than people who get paid to do this. This is the reason why you have. How do you have general managers and scouts who are supposed to be the professionals have a high turnover rate, and yet me, you, promo, and Lil Bucket and everybody else can call a play and we watch it from the TV. So the thing is this, man, is that evaluators are just people who are paid with a title of expert. That's it.
Yeah.
They really don't evaluate.
The backup.
And the thing is, you have to also remember this too. We all have to remember that people even within the scouting world have biases. And that's what we're hearing now.
Yeah.
We're hearing this thing now. And one of the brothers brought up Dan Orlowski, who I think I think he does a great job. But the thing is that you got all of these scouts are saying, coming into the season, you telling me, evaluating starts at the end of the season? Well, what happened the year before all the evaluations when they said all these great things about Shedeur? And then all of a sudden now they come to his last season before he enters the draft. They didn't evaluate in the first part during the season. They waited to after the season. Are you serious? Come on, man.
Right.
Here's the other thing that we all have to remember, right? The black and white thing, one of the other brothers said something which is true. I agree with him to an extent. But the thing is, you got different type of black and you got different type of black. What I mean is that if you have the black the way Shedeur act like black, and you got Cam Ward or you got Travis who act like black, that's two different types of black. And what happens is people who are in these offices, they can't relate to Shedeur type of black, Dion type of black.
Right.
So it scares them.
That's the point we brought up earlier, though, when we said this is a conservative business, and when you talk about the QB position. But I don't like the whole splitting up black stuff and all that stuff.
But I mean,
what I'm saying is I don't want that
like
conversation.
Black. You understand what I'm saying? He don't come off like people we know. You know what I'm talking about? So
no. I agree with you, right? So what I mean is the levels of black with Shedeur, right? Is Shedeur is not hood black.
Nah.
Right?
But he go change the rest.
But that's his type of black. He has his hood black, but he has this uncomfortability with some of these owners. Think about it, y'all. Think about this. These folks can't relate. Think about it. And the reason why I say that is this. It's like no different than us. If we all out in front of Tiger Yard, slap boxing, playing, talking, some of these white folks can't relate. They're going to call the police talking we fighting and acting a fool.
That's true. That's
right.
There ain't no argument with that at all.
We just playing. So that's all I'm saying, y'all.
No, I get what you're saying.
I can see some of it, but then at the end of the day, because the one thing that I'll say this about white people, the one thing that white people like, or anybody that's making money, they want to make money, right? The more money you make, you want more of it. That's the nature of the beast.
He didn't take
so the disconnect that I see with a little bit of that, I agree with some of it, but a little bit of the disconnect that I see is that he is so valuable when it comes to Shedeur, meaning he's so valuable when it comes to monetizing himself. You look at all of the different entities that back him, Beats by Dre, Nike, Coca-Cola, Pet, whatever. All these different brands that he endorses and embraces, they put money into him. Yeah. So people are not going to throw money into something that they can't believe. So whether it's gold chain, whether they believe him to be, uppity black or swaggity black or whatever you want to call it, as far as like being, I see it as unapologetically black. That's him. That's his father with the confidence and things like that. People are going to get behind that because it makes money. Nobody had a problem with endorsing him when it came to him being unapologetically himself. But when you look at the NFL in a skill set is based on measurables and intangibles. Right. He has great intangibles, But when you start stacking them up to measurables, arm strength, and all of this stuff, that's what they look for. You said it before, copycat league. If Shedeur was his same self but had the speed of Lamar Jackson, he'd get drafted number 1. Easy.
But okay,
Yeah, so I can
in that
respond though.
same,
Can I finally get in
without
there?
even
Can I
going
finally get
too
in there?
deep off into it, put Cam Ward over to Colorado and Shedeur at in Miami. Are we even talking about Cam Ward? That's what I'm
I
trying
think
to
we
say.
are.
Come on, dog. Come on.
I
Because he's
think you are
mobile.
with Prime. I think you
Come
are.
He'll
on.
have more rushing yards. Yeah.
I want to say this, man. We got to stop confusing what social media say and what the GM say.
Right.
Just because on YouTube we consistently repeat that a player is a first round or a player got an endorsement, that does not mean the GM think the same way. And every time we keep going back and saying, well, this brand backed them. That doesn't matter.
No, that was for the public perception. He's talking about the media not being behind him. I'm like, if they not behind him, he wouldn't be a media darling. As far as advertisement, they're not gonna put their money behind him.
But that doesn't matter when it comes to evaluators in the NFL. I mean,
that's what they were using. Yeah. As far as his personality, and how he comes across.
Hold on. Well, let me say this right here to back Bougie up on this. All right, when you look at Shedeur, and every time he posts something, he gets so many more clicks than a Cam Ward. Like I seen Cam Ward interview the other day. It only had like 2,000 views.
Yeah.
Shedeur can do something where he get out of a car and then have 15,000 views. You know, so that's why the advertising, the companies or whatever, they're gonna try to pull Shedeur because they know they're gonna get a bigger bang for their buck. But when it comes to an NFL team, they don't really want all this publicity. They want you to be in here working out. But the thing about Shedeur, he works out too. You remember when they was working out down there in South Beach? He told Cam, "You was late, dog. I was here."
Yeah.
But Cam was working out somewhere else, but they was all working out. Like they both work out. So it ain't like Shedeur's a slacker. But let me say this: this guy on the screen right here, right next to Shedeur, and I keep talking about Kyle because to me, he's the most accurate quarterback in his draft. He's bigger than most of these guys that done got drafted. And he's won on the Power 5 level. Like, why is he not getting picked up and touted like how these other quarterbacks like a Dart?
Who are you talking about?
Kyle McCord.
Oh yeah.
Why is he getting looked over? Because he don't wait on gold chains. You know what I'm saying?
But I think he's getting looked over. He's getting looked over for the reasons you said earlier, that they're looking for more mobile, versatile quarterbacks.
Mobile quarterback.
And Kyle McCord Shedeur falls in that more old school traditional pocket.
Yeah.
Well,
and
hold on. Let me do. I'm gonna let you take our promo. But I'm gonna show y'all this video. And I don't have the Kyle McCord video when he jumped over a player and scored a touchdown. Like he jumped over a dude standing straight up. And I gotta appreciate the super sticker dragging that wagon. But let me show y'all this because when y'all saying Shedeur ain't mobile, like I hear what y'all saying.
Nobody said
my eyes saw too though. I know what my eyes saw. And I'm gonna show y'all what I saw.
He's like, I'm going through you. Let me ask you this, Link, behalf of offense.
I think it would have helped him, but he didn't do nothing.
Shedeur used attack. Hold on, Promo. I just showed the video when Shedeur tried to run over a defender. Like Shedeur had like 40-something yard runs, and he's trying to run over dudes and stuff. Like it ain't like he can't run. He's been trained not to run.
Yeah.
If he'd have went to the combine and ran a good 40, things would be different.
No, that's true. I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, if he'd have worked out and showed did the 10-yard, like the agility drills, like he didn't even have to do the 40. He did all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Now I think that hurt him not working out.
That I can see what you're saying.
And then going to the Gruden thing, because all the other quarterbacks went to that Gruden thing, because that evaluates how you read and break down the plays and stuff when he doing that interviews.
But Cam didn't go.
They said Dart. They said Dart. No, I'm saying that because they said Jackson Dart when he did that interview with Gruden and he broke down like the offenses and the plays. Because you know how the NFL plays is like long and like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he broke it down real quick. So how fast he could process the information.
All right.
That would have helped him, bro.
But Kyle McCord went there too, and he did good. And Gruden was raving about it. Man, I like you, man. Like you, I'm you one of my favorites, and he still ain't. They got him valued under Miro.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
What it
if you
is, man.
seen Kyle McCord at the NFL Combine, no accuracy, he was terrible. Footwork, all that stuff was bad. Like he threw for a lot of yards at Syracuse, but he also threw for like he threw the ball almost 600 times too to get to those yards. But I got a question because this is something that's kind of like, man, hindsight 2020. Do you think it's different if Shedeur had an agent? Because he ain't had no agent.
It
So
could
he's
be.
going to take these
Yeah.
30 visits, going to these teams and stuff like that. And I'm assuming he didn't have an agent because he unapologetically want to be himself. Because when you get an agent,
Right.
they know people in the building. They gonna cue you what to say, blah blah blah, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that's
And
real.
so
That's solid.
does
That's
that?
solid.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if you got an agent, they working them phones, they talking to
Prime is his
people.
Right.
advisor.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
You got
I
Tom.
don't
You
want
got.
to put the blame on Prime because I rock. We all rock with Colorado in some sense, whether we
Yeah.
hate them, love them, we rock with them. But I'm like, damn, like why you didn't have an agent?
I think an agent would have been good because it gives her that
Yeah.
independent analysis.
Yeah,
Maybe would have went out and performed in the combine.
yeah, or did did something, or they would
You
advise
know.
them like, hey
Maybe they
man,
would have
I'm
worked on
getting
his
inside
interviewing
scoop.
skills, stuff like
You
Yeah,
know
that.
what
yeah,
you're saying is
I
what
agree with
happened
you.
with Lamar Jackson just recently. They counted that against him.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a cold take on that. Them not having a go between, and playing the
Yeah.
politics and all that other stuff because that's the same stuff that they're holding against Lamar.
Lamar Jack, yeah, because that's I
Yeah.
look at that too. But everything, honestly, somebody that said, who was it that said that we the couch evaluators and we know we all own it. Like if we wrote a book and said this is how you get drafted, Tiger, you'll make a lot of money, bro. You need to
Yeah.
put this in a book.
Straight
Hey, let me
up,
ask y'all a
straight up,
question. Let me ask
straight
y'all a
up.
question. I got a
And
question
get
for
paid.
the chat and the panel. Hey, check this out. So just like how we were saying with Shedeur, how we think what Prime saying dictating where he want him to play hurt him. We're gonna find out next year if that was really true. Because Manning, if they dictated where Eli was gonna go, they're also gonna dictate where Cooper Manning's gonna go. Let's see
You talking
if
about
they get
Arch?
time
You talking
treatment.
about
Yeah,
Arch?
See
Archie.
what I'm saying?
Archie. Yeah,
Arch
Archie
Manning,
stood on top
yeah.
of the table.
They're not gonna let him go to
Yeah.
any team. So let's see if they treat them like Shedeur and Prime getting treated. Because I guarantee you, if Cleveland try to draft him next year, they're not gonna let him go to Cleveland.
Oh, it's curtains. Hell yeah, they
But
closing it.
look at this now. Manning can throw, and Manning is fast as.
No,
Oh
he athletic, mobile.
yeah.
Yeah, he
He
different.
athletic. He can dunk
He
too.
got his daddy athleticism. He way more athletic than Manning, and Peyton Manning and Eli Manning.
Yeah. No, he a monster.
Hey y'all, this I'm telling you, this whole thing about this copycat league, as bad, and I feel like I feel like Richardson should have stayed at least another year at Florida, but they don't want to let him go. You know why? Because his athletic ability. It like
Yup.
if he wasn't athletic and was throwing like he throwing, bro, he wouldn't have. Man, he'd have been released like a mug, bro.
He
Straight
needs
up.
the
Treat him like
right
Will
He'd
coaching,
have been
Levis.
man.
he'd have been straight released. Like,
Yep.
and so at the end of the day, man, I can see McCoy. I can see again. I can't see it, but I can see it. What I mean is them making the decision. I can see McCoy going before Shedeur to the Rams. I can see
Yeah,
something like
I see
that.
what you said. I can see
You
him
see what I'm
going
saying?
undrafted right now from what we're talking about.
If
I
I
can
don't
see
think he'll go.
Richardson,
Shedeur being a free
I
agent.
don't think he'll go undrafted, bro. I just think that if he don't go tonight, he's guaranteed to go in the third. And here's the thing: people are like, well, why Brady? Do you know? We have to understand that Brady is only a 10% holder in the company. He probably ain't even really making full decisions
Yeah.
on draft.
He don't got no control like that. Free. He's just a face.
Right? He's
if
just a face.
Richardson
So
had the same coaching that Shedeur got, Richardson would be one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now.
Absolutely, I believe that. Who is that? Motivated, dedicated.
Yeah,
What I said
I
again?
believe you true on that. He said if Anthony. Oh, go ahead.
If Richardson had the same type of coaching that Shedeur had, he would be one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now.
Yep.
Richardson, what Richardson? I'm trying to think. Who you talking about, Richardson?
Anthony Richardson
with the
Colts.
Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah. They were saying he wasn't really that accurate. That's what they were saying.
He should have stayed
because
another
he
year,
hasn't
man.
had the coaching.
I'm a Gator fan. He should have stayed. He should have stayed another year. He's athletic, but he don't have the experience as a
He ain't played enough
quarterback.
football as a
Yeah,
quarterback.
he should. Yeah, he ain't played enough as a quarterback. So, we got to look at a lot of things, man. Because at this point, I'm just hoping for. I ain't really hoping for him to get drafted. I know he's gonna get drafted. I'm just hoping he land in the right spot.
I don't want him to go to Cleveland. Please don't go.
Hell, if he go to
This
Cleveland,
is
I
what
can't,
happened.
bro.
If Shedeur go to Cleveland, he'll have the LeBron James effect. Like nobody don't watch the Cleveland Cavaliers, but when LeBron gets there, everybody watch Cleveland Cavaliers.
He could still go to the Raiders, and I could see in the next 2 years him and Gentry being a 1-2 punch. I can actually see that.
Cleveland is a terrible organization.
I mean, you 100%. You 100%. Okay. Now, hey, but let me address it real quick. Y'all saying Kyle McCord threw 5 interceptions in that pick game. That is true. But 2 of them things were tips, and they were down. So when you down, sometimes you start pressing.
Yeah.
But after that game, he threw 239 passes and then throw another pick. So it ain't like he just throw picks every game. Like he went on the street like 5-6 games without a pick. And I'm gonna say this. I remember seeing the guy Will Howard at the draft when he was looking terrible. He was missing everybody. I don't remember Kyle McCord throwing at the draft. I don't remember seeing him throw.
Now, Tiger, you cursed him though, Tiger.
Why you say that?
You cursed him because man, the way you was unapologetic about him, and then they played Pitt the next game, he threw like 6 picks. You cursed him, bro. You shouldn't have said that.
No, well, I said he was gonna slice up Miami, and he did that. So I ain't cursing that.
Yeah. I'm saying you cursed him for one game.
But no, see, I think he was. I'm gonna say something. The 2 of their games they lost, bro. That tight end that they had, Gaston. It was 2. One time, Gaston, he just hit a guy like a guy did a fair catch, and he just came down the field and just hit the dude like he blanked out. And then that game against Pitt, Kyle McCord, he went at Gaston like 2 times, and 2 times he missed the ball. One time on a 4th down in his hands, and the other time he had the ball, he missed it, and it went to somebody, a DB. It bounced to a DB hand. So it's like the tight end. He was trying to put him in position. You're the best player on offense. I'm going to you. And the tight end just blanked out. He just kind of like he just had a brain fart or something.
My man who brought up that Raider take about old boy from Boise and then get Shedeur and Thomas at the helm. I think you might have that might have some traction. That or the Pittsburgh. Whoever said that.
Yeah.
Salute to you.
Yeah,
I
think that's what could happen, man. I really do. If the Raiders make the decision to pull the trigger tonight to get Shedeur, I think that Geno, because Geno is like a 2-year deal, right?
Yes. Yep.
I think that Pete Carroll is going to pull if he do pull the trigger. Now you can mentor Shedeur. You can still be able to have Geno as your comfort blanket to be able to have him. He can mentor him, and then within the next 2 years. And then in the 3rd and 4th, you can even possibly go get another receiver or somebody like that. And you got Shedeur. I think it could be a good 1-2 punch between him and Gentry in the next 2 years.
And I think that's going to be. Don't forget, you got Brock Bowers out there.
Yeah, Brock Bowers out there.
Oh yeah. That'll be a nice 3-headed monster. Hey, now look, they said
Pete Carroll, the coach. That's the Seattle thing that they did with Russell Wilson. And I'm out.
Yes, Russell Wilson. There you go.
They saying Kyle McCord and Dart had 2 of the best performances at the combine.
Well, I must got Kyle McCord. You know what? Yeah, it was Quinn
Will Howard. You think about Will Howard?
Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers.
Oh, Ewers was like that.
Yeah, Will Howard both stuck it up.
I stand corrected. It was Quinn Ewers. He was god awful. And
For
that's my
tonight, you
quarterback.
gotta
I'm gonna
you
tell you.
gotta
Yeah, I think the Browns are content on running the ball because they got Joe Flacco, and they just gonna be like, "Hey, do what you can do, but we gonna run this ball, and we got an abundance of picks to try to fix the team in other areas because they depleted in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
So
So Deshaun Watson, is he coming back at all this season?
probably not.
Nah, he had a
I
setback on
seen
the
a little
rehab.
rehab video he posted. He said he getting better, but I'm like, I know the
Probably
season a
not.
few months
Yeah,
away, but
nah, they say he got re-injured doing rehab. That's why they signed
wow.
Flacco.
Okay. So where's Shedeur going? I'm sorry, Tyke. I gotta get the chat in there. I need to know where's Shedeur going.
What? I mean, I don't know where he's going, man. I think he's gonna end up going to the Raiders. That's what I think. The Raiders or Miami. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I would just say this to all Colorado fans: like, don't panic, chat, because think about it. Tom Brady, 6th-round draft pick. So you know the Raiders ain't gonna let him go undrafted. I guarantee you, Brady gonna snatch him up.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they gonna fill every position that they need to fill, and if he's still sitting there, they will take him.
Because they got mocks coming out right now. They got the Browns taking him in the 3rd round. They got the Browns getting like a back and Will John. I think the Ohio State back and Will Johnson, and then with their 67th pick in the 3rd round, taking Shedeur.
Honestly, y'all, this would be better for Shedeur. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Cause Shedeur understands his dad, they team, they know how to market. So if Shedeur go to a team like how Purdy did, you go to a team that's already stacked, you gonna make a whole lot of money off the field if you perform on the field. So this actually is good for Shedeur.
I think I would agree with you, but the thing is, all the teams that need quarterbacks are trash. So it's going to be tough for him to go to a team that's already good because the team that's already good, it don't seem like they trying to pick up quarterbacks.
But this is what I'm saying. Since he didn't get picked in the 1st round, he's not gonna get that big purse. He ain't gonna get all that money. And that's what Shedeur wanted. That's why he hit the chain on with the big dollar sign. But now that he's not going to take up so much of the cap space, whatever team he go to, they can put pieces around him.
Right. Hey, what y'all think about this? Don't count out the 49ers because you know they ain't afraid to take a quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, that is true.
They got besides Purdy. Who they got?
I would love him to go there for sure. I would love him to go there, but they finna roll out the Brinks truck for Purdy, so
Yeah, he about to
I
at least
can't
get
see it.
50 mil.
Yeah, I can't see that happening.
Yeah,
I could have saw Dallas before they signed Milton. What'd you say?
Oh yeah. What about
I could.
the Dolphins?
Yeah, that's what they said is a potential, but that would have to be like late 3rd round, man.
But that's what. See, I don't care what round he go in. Like what round did Purdy go in?
Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the
Yeah,
last pick of the
he was
draft.
the last one, 7th round.
But and look how it worked out for him. Look how it worked out for Tom Brady.
Yeah, I just don't. I can't see him falling that far. If he falls to the 3rd round, it'd be crazy. But what I would want is for the Raiders to grab him. I think they got like the 5th pick today, maybe the 6th, because they saying the Saints aren't taking him, and they saying if the Browns do take him, they not forcing it. So they're gonna use their 2 second-round picks on other positions, and then they might get him in the 3rd. So his only real shot tonight, let somebody trade up, I think is the Raiders, man.
Yeah. And look, and don't get this wrong right here. What I'm about to say. Shedeur, you know, he got a little flash and confidence, whatever. But this right here, by him falling and dropping, it's gonna give him so much fire, bro. It like he already worked out like crazy. Now he
Yeah.
gonna be like, I'm gonna show everybody. I'm gonna show like he gonna really lock in. That will Tom Brady was telling him, stop worrying about them cars and all that kind of stuff. That jury lock in.
Yeah, sometimes you need a little humbling, man. Like I don't like when people when he popping his stuff and people like, be humble. Like I don't have a problem with, people telling you to be humble. And we can't get mad if he just chooses to be humble or not. But what we are seeing is that, bruh, if when it comes to the NFL, dog, if you're not like, even if you are Lamar Jackson talented, because a lot of people are saying he
Yeah,
needed an
he got
agent.
got.
He got Lamar got blackballed because he didn't want an agent. And they like, bro, so you not finna do things our way? You think you finna just let your mom negotiate? Okay, we finna show you. Like the blackballing has been going on for a while, and regardless of a Shedeur first round, second round, there's something going on, bro, to where they are trying to humble him, bro, and it's right in our faces. I don't think because if we're talking about the quarterbacks, Cam Ward is not that much better than Shedeur. Even if you think Cam Ward is better, he's not that much better. Jackson Dart, not that much better than Shedeur. So if those dudes are going in the first round and Shedeur is still sitting here not knowing where he's going, it's something to it, bro. Because if we're saying it's a mid quarterback draft, they all mid together. They right neck and neck. There's nobody who's like running away with it as far as talent.
Yeah. And let me say this right here. Because when I was watching Shedeur last night, like I said it hurt my feelings a little bit. I'm like, damn, Shedeur, you got to go through this. But this guy had to go through that. You know what I'm saying? He was a beast.
Yep.
I ain't gonna say this guy because he got injured. But
Will Johnson, yeah.
But Will Johnson had to go through that. I mean, Ben had to go through that. The running back right here had to go through that. Like he was one of the best running backs coming out, you know. But other running back for Ohio State had to go through that. And people said they want to say Scalaboo thought that run he did, okay, I got 1,700 yards. I'm good. Gordon thought last year, he thought for sure he was going to the first round. He won that
Walker.
The Walker. The Walker
Award, yeah.
Yeah, he thought he was going, but like, look, slide. So it's a lot of dudes right now questioning what's going on, and they holding them tears back because they don't know what their future gonna hold.
Yeah, I just think it's different for. I think it's different for Shedeur just because them being right, like him and Prime them have always been right. Like when they went to Jackson, that was the right move. They proved people wrong. They went to Colorado, that was the right move. Like they said they was gonna do something and they did it. It's happened for the past few years. When they say something gonna happen, it's gonna happen. They said Shedeur was going in the first round, dog, and that didn't happen. This is the first time that Prime them done said something was gonna happen and it didn't happen, bro. It's just
I can't give you that. I can't give you because he's told Peggy they was gonna make it to the playoffs and they ain't make it.
no. He said he's gonna go to the bowl game.
He said
Stop
a
the
bowl
cap.
game.
He said bowl game. Stop the
Hey,
cap, man.
Alfaru, tell me,
My bad, I
Alfaru,
had to pause for a second. My bad. What's up, y'all?
what would be the best destination in your eyes for Shedeur?
Man, I've always thought the best destination for Shedeur, I would love him to be in a dome team in a conference that's not tough defensively. So I always thought New Orleans would be great. And if they wanted to get up off of Anthony Richardson, I thought Indianapolis would have been a fantastic location. But I don't know if they're gonna do that. But I think Indian, out of all the teams, like I know y'all like the Steelers. I don't want him at Cleveland or the Steelers because of that conference and the weather that goes on out there.
Yep, that's true.
I don't like that for him. To be honest with you, in that conference, you either got to be able to run or you got to be able to have a strong ass arm when the wind blowing coming off those lakes. All those teams got lakes. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. That shit get cold out there, bro. It's hard to play out there. It's hard. Yeah, so I think New Orleans. I think the Rams in New Orleans would be perfect.